Anytime a space game lets you get out of the captain's chair and move around mid-flight, already interested. But when you can leave the ship, manage your ship's exterior, board enemy ships, and jetpack through space, I don't need the rest of the game to be any good because that's already a mechanic that I want more of. Fortunately for Jump Space, formerly Jump Ship, it has a whole lot more going for it than this awesome mechanic. The game is great, and it's just in early access. But when I started seeing this game was built for co-op, I started to get a little worried. I mostly play solo, so I wanted to check this one out and see how good the solo experience is. But let's talk a little bit about what the game is first. The game starts you off in a prologue. It does have a story, so it takes you through why you're here, your purpose, and then you'll go through your standard training objectives to help you learn the basic mechanics of the game, and eventually you'll end up at a place called the Hangar. The Hangar is where you prep for missions. Alongside prep, you'll select your next mission at the galaxy map. There's a variety of mission types, which I'll talk a little bit about later, but you'll select a mission here, ready up, and it will jump you out into a section of open space. In this first section, it's a safe zone. You'll be able to fly around, search for things, and do more prep for your mission, like crafting items or arranging your power grid. Then you'll go to your galaxy map aboard your ship and set the course for your next destination and jump. The main mission is the target at the end, but you'll choose your path based on different needs. You'll find some side missions are asking for a certain thing that you need to go after, or you may just want to target sections that have loot. Each section you jump into, you'll have an objective before you can move on that you have to complete, unless it's one of the safe space sections. There are both flight and on-ground objectives. Sometimes you'll be required to take down enemy ships where you and your crew, if you're playing with others, will work together managing all the systems on your ship. Ammo needs to be reloaded, fires need to be put out, ship shields and health need to be restored. Sometimes enemies can board your ship too, and sometimes you need ship upgrades mid-combat via crafting. A whole host of things can go wrong while you're in space, and you'll spend your time as a team managing those things. As a solo player, you have BuddyBot, who's very helpful and enables you to do all of those things by yourself. So it makes it very easy to play as a solo, which I'll elaborate a little bit more on at the end. When it's time to go out on foot, sometimes there's a landing pad for you, but the game is open enough where you can just kind of leave your ship at any time, which means if you are playing with other players, some people could be on the ground, some people could be on the ship. As a solo, BuddyBot will join you on foot as well, and he's pretty capable at destroying machines. Once you complete the main objective of that section, there's usually a bunch of loot as well, naturally, so you can take the time to hunt stuff down or use your scanner to find those hidden objects. Then when you're ready, you'll set course and jump to the next section and continue on until you've made it all the way to the final one, which is usually the hardest. And after completing that final section, you'll head back to your hangar and receive your rewards that you can use toward improving your ship for future runs. And that's essentially the gist of it. Very much it has those roguelike mechanics. Your character will keep whatever weapons you have on you for going into the next run, and then your ship will have improvements that carry over each round as well. But your character itself doesn't have any upgrades that make you more powerful each run or anything, at least not yet. So it really relies on you investing in your ship upgrades for those harder runs and being a little bit more selective with what you're crafting each time. The hangar is the central hub for in-between missions. You'll find your missions at the galaxy map, and there's a good variety of mission types. They're ranked by difficulty, going from 1 to 5, and also by the time, ranging anywhere from 20 minutes to 1.5 hours. The times are very approximate. I found them to be much shorter. What it's really indicating, though, is approximately how many jumps you're going to be taking. So, for example, the shorter 20-minute ones will have 1 to 2 jumps until you get to that final destination, whereas the longer ones can be a lot more. In terms of difficulty, the level 1 and 2 are very easily manageable. It starts to pick up a bit around level 3, but difficulty scales with the number of players you have. So as a solo, you don't have to feel overwhelmed and forced to play with others at the higher levels. It'll still be a challenge, but even the ship repairs are turned down a little bit. So it's balanced for whether you're a solo or a duo or a quad. The challenges will scale. Each region will have possible discoveries like upgrade components for your ship or map chart fragments, which will help you unlock more of this galaxy map. So you'll find yourself doing multiple runs in a region while searching for something specific. When you bring ship components back with you after a run, it will automatically be placed in your parts storage. And here you can choose which parts you want installed on your ship for the beginning of each run. There's a good variety of weapons, power sources, and utility things like scanners that you can choose from. And then when your mission starts, you'll install them on your ship, which I'll talk about in the ship section. You can also upgrade your components here by using these ingots you get from mission rewards. Then you have a few different NPCs where you can get missions or side quests from, and also do some slight customization on your spacesuit and your ship. You can collect and use these artifacts, but currently only while on a run. However, the professor hints at this feature coming to be able to pre-purchase these before a run starts. So eventually you'll have more options to pre-prep your runs by visiting different NPCs. There's a mission board where you can see your current and completed missions, and then some fun interactive things around to keep you occupied with friends in between missions. When you select your mission and ready up, you'll automatically jump into one of these safe space sections, and while you're on board ship, you can pre-prep a little bit more. The parts you have chosen to install in your ship at your hangar will need to be organized in this puzzle-like power grid minigame. You won't have to do this every time, but if you change your parts or upgrade your power supply, you'll need to reinstall these at the beginning. Over time, you can upgrade your ship to have more power available to make this easier and have more slots. You'll also start with a small amount of materia. This is the resource required for crafting. You grind this up in your grinder and it goes into your bank where you can then craft various weapons. Items like heal kits, ammo boxes, or ammo for your ship and repairs. You'll find more of this from destroying ships and collecting loot on foot. In space, it pockets it into these external caches where a crewmate will have to regularly empty it, or if you are solo, BuddyBot will do that for you. This storage room will support any items you find as loot that you have, and Buddy sends back to the ship, or that you deposit in cargo transfer containers. You can also press G to set stuff down here to store it in between runs because you can only carry 4 items on you at a time. And you have your ship's ammo storage, which you'll need to refill either manually, or BuddyBot will do that if you are solo. Then there's repairs needed to be made at the ship's core, a dining hall to make pizza, a med bay to get heals, and a sleeping quarters with a toilet, just for fun. There's also an artifact storage unit you'll get early on, which allows you to upgrade your ship with various benefits while on each mission. On the bridge, you have the galaxy map, which allows you to set your next location, the view scanner, which can be swapped out with different parts, like a supply beacon, for example, and your gunner's chair and pilot's seat. Then you have your eject tubes, located in multiple parts of the ship. This allows you to quickly eject and move about outside. You have this specific flooring that magnetizes you, so you can walk like there is gravity outside, but you can also detach and float around at any time, as well as jetpack through the air. There are grapple points all over your ship and every location that you go to, making transferring to a walking surface a lot easier, and then regular doors too to get back inside your ship. And you can freely travel from ship to space to ground at any time, and it is very satisfying. There are 2 main types of combat, on foot and in space. In space, if you are a crew member, you'll be protecting the ship from any onboard invaders, alongside your maintenance responsibilities, but there is also the combat station where you get control of the secondary weapons that you've added to your ship. Then there's piloting, which is what you will mostly be doing as a solo, although you can still use the combat station, and it can be useful in certain situations. As the pilot, you'll have control of your own upgradable weapon. It has good movement, a bit touchy, but the settings can be adjusted, and overall, it feels really good to fly, to shoot things, and destroy things. There are options for shield, which you'll need to manually install, and various upgrades like for your pilot's cannon or things like artifacts, which help you further improve your combat strength. Then there's the on-foot combat. It's as good of a first-person shooter as it gets, at least in terms of how it feels. It's very fast-paced, very smooth movement, things hit hard and they feel good. Very, very well done first-person shooter action. You have your grappling hook, which allows you to zoom around, and then you can also use your jetpack in open space areas to further add for really crazy movement. There are a good variety of weapon types, ranging from your typical assault weapons to rocket launchers, then additional items like ammo boxes and shields to help you fight off the robot hordes. Your main starting weapon is this handy pistol with infinite ammo, which doubles as a utility tool. Weapons can be stored on your ship for later use, but the only weapons you bring back with you are the ones on your 4-slot inventory. All items on your ship's inventory get turned into credits and points that you can invest in upgrades for your ship. Then you can also craft weapons on your ship using the main resource materia, and other things like heal kits and, as I mentioned, ammo boxes and such. This game was released on September 19th in early access. It is available on Steam and Xbox for $20. This game is early access, but they've been open about their plans for the future. Recently, they released a roadmap showing what's in it at launch and what's expected to come. Currently, at the $20 price, you have 9 mission types. A few of them I've shown. You'll do things like cargo ship raids, where you'll have to haul back heavy cargo to your ship, or help out the fellow good guys fend off attacking ships in distress call missions. Then there are 50 plus playable sectors. These are the sectors within the mission that you jump to along your path to the main mission. 4 unlockable galaxy regions, which hold those missions. 2 ships to pilot. 26 ship components. These are the parts that you'll upgrade your ship with that you'll end up putting on your power grid. 8 player weapons. 16 ship enemy types, and 11 ground enemy types. And then coming in early 2026, there is a whole bunch of additional stuff. When it comes to early access games, it's obviously a risk you're taking, but I think it's important to pay attention how engaging the devs are. And this new group of devs at Keepsake Games clearly have a lot of passion about their game. It shows in the quality of the game. I mean, it feels really well made, and I've encountered very few bugs. But more importantly, they are transparent and active. They showed you their plans, but they also are consistently reaching out to the community and trying to get feedback. They are clearly trying to make their game as best as it possibly can be. There is a right way to do early access and a wrong way, and so far, Keepsake Games is doing everything right. And there's no sign of them stopping, so I think it's a worthwhile investment of $20. Even if you only play what's in it now, it has enough to justify its cost, in my opinion. But what's coming is even more exciting. Like I mentioned, it's fairly limited in terms of upgrading your character and things you can bring over into the next round, but just based on some of what they are teasing, like player trait system, it appears to be going in that direction of giving you more opportunities to improve each round. Overall, it sounds like they just want to make the best game that they possibly can based on your feedback. They have ideas, and they want you to help them shape and form this game. And that is what a good early access game is supposed to do, and why early access even exists. These guys know what's up. I've touched on it here and there, but to bring it all together, the solo experience is rock solid. There's room for improvement, but overall, you can have a lot of fun playing this if you are a solo. The BuddyBot is capable of taking on all your ship's tasks. As you're flying around in combat, he usually sits in the gunner seat and helps you fight off enemies. That is, until you have a problem, like running low on ammo, he'll switch to the priority and take care of the most important task for you, like repairing your ship, which is a manual task. He will even craft ammo for you in the assembler as long as you have materia. Materia needs to be ground up from loot that you find on foot or harvested from these outside containers on your ship. BuddyBot will collect those materias when he has a free second and autocraft ammo or heal kits for the ship as needed. He works very quickly and very well. If anything, it's probably easier to play as a solo player because he is so good at his job. The frequency of ship maintenance, like fires, are also tuned down a bit as a solo, so you won't find yourself overwhelmed when playing solo. You can mostly spend your time piloting the ship. On harder difficulties, you may need to jump out and assist after a round of combat, but overall, it feels pretty balanced. But that is also part of the downside to playing solo. You may not get to experience as many maintenance events if you are constantly piloting. It's actually one of my main requests for solo players is to allow BuddyBot to pilot the ship, which he cannot right now, so that you can run around and partake in some of the other game's mechanics. Otherwise, you may miss out on some of that because of the frequency of which they occur as a solo. BuddyBot will also join you on foot. He's got some jokes and he hates his fellow machines, and I quite enjoyed his company. He's got good personality. He also comes well loaded and can help you significantly in combat. But just like maintenance events, the enemy numbers are balanced for solo players or based on the number of players you have. So as a solo, you'll have fewer enemies. He'll also send items back to your ship since you can only carry 4 things at a time. That way you don't have to haul things back and forth if you got a lot of loot that you found. Overall, BuddyBot was clearly 100% designed to make this game playable for solos, and I think they did a pretty good job at it. In addition to having him pilot the ship, it'd be really nice if you could also direct him around to do something, which you can't do yet. He does things very well automatically, but it might be nice to kind of direct him based on what your preferences are at the moment. But they are showing BuddyBot improvements coming in the next chapter, so that can only mean further improvements to the solo experience. This follows what I talked about before. The devs are committed to listening to the community. I believe this BuddyBot was a feature after people asked for a way to play solo. They're clearly listening, and if more solos play and ask for more solo features, it's no doubt that they'll add it if that's what the community wants. And the last thing I'll quickly mention is lobbies. The game is strictly PvE, and they are adamant about keeping it that way because they want the vibe to be about fun. So if you find yourself wanting shipmates to jump with, you'll be able to do so with matchmaking. That's it for this one. I appreciate you watching. If you want more Jump Space, let me know by dropping a like, a comment, and maybe a sub. See you on the next one.